Let me see if I can get Mr. Manderson on the phone this morning because he is a wealth of information when it comes to this particular topic. And I think it's worth, clarifying this. So let's just give him a call on the fly if he's available. I know he's the type of person that will answer the phone. So let's see. Mhm. We like to just attack these issues as we get them, honey chill. We're going to start our fundraising segment here in a second. Mr. Manderson, good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Calling you live and direct from the cold hard
Okay,
truth.
what's the topic?
So we're talking about, I feel like we've spoken about this a million times, but I know you're a wealth of information in this regard. The necessity for Caymanians to get acknowledged. Someone called in not understanding why it needs to be done and is there a way to fix it. So let's talk about how this happened. Why is it that me, as a Caymanian, I'm now 50 years old, I was born in 1973, I don't have to get acknowledged? My Cayman passport was my document to say I'm a Caymanian from day one. What has changed between then, the 80s, the 90s? What happened?
Right. So on the 27th of March, 1977, a new immigration law came into force. I think it was the Cayman Protection Law, revised, that basically said that before you could become a Caymanian, one of your parents needed to be a Caymanian. So prior to that, anyone born in the Cayman Islands automatically became a Caymanian. The law was changed back then because people were flooding into the country, having children, just for the purposes of allowing their children to be Caymanian. Uh, our grandfathers thought that that was not a good idea, and they changed the law to make sure that you had to have a parent that was also a Caymanian for you to also become a Caymanian. I think that was a good decision. It has made us live the life that we are living today. So we've seen other countries where you have anchor babies and all sorts of things that has caused no ends of problems. So basically, what that means is that my daughter, for example, who was born in 2000 in 1991, for her to prove that she is a Caymanian, she would have to, in addition to her birth certificate, would also have to show my birth certificate or my wife's birth certificate to show that we were both Caymanians. What that means then is if she has a child, then it's the same thing. Her child then has to show that there is a Caymanian lineage of parents. Now, what people should understand is that is a small price to pay for ensuring our success as a jurisdiction. If we allow everyone to come into Cayman and have children and they automatically become Caymanians, if we think our people have a hard time now getting jobs and getting into schools, just think about the flood that would, the problems that would cause. So people need to understand that this is not a grant, or this is not under discretion that is given by immigration. Immigration is simply acknowledging that your child is a Caymanian and giving them a piece of paper that says it. Because from 77 until now, there is not really one document that can prove that your child or is a Caymanian, because normally the passport would be your proof of being a Caymanian or your proof of citizenship. That is not the case here. So basically, we talked about the national ID coming online that would help clear this up, that would say from day one you're a Caymanian. So we've been working towards that and make some great progress. We've passed the law. We're now looking at implementation. But really, Caymanians should see this as a huge protection for their children, and it is a little, it is inconvenience for a way to have to send your documents into work and get a letter back. But for what we're benefiting from that decision that was made way back in 1977, I think that's a small price to pay.
So I see someone saying that the law was changed in 2017 that brought this in. That has nothing to do with what was done in 2017.
No, I said no. So the laws have changed over the years,
Uh-huh.
but nothing has changed in relation to your parent need to be a Caymanian, before you can become a Caymanian as well.
Mm-hmm.
That there's nothing really that has changed in relation to that. The immigration law has been changed over the years, but that acknowledgement has consistently been in the immigration law from in the 1970s.
So, I mean, is there a way to make the process easier? Like I said, what I did was, because I don't want to have to deal with this in 10, 15 years when my daughter's trying to,
Yes.
Go to school or get whatever. Is there a way to make it part of even the registration process at birth to just make it,
Yeah, I think that is one thing that we had looked at, and I think that's where the national ID is going to hopefully help us. Is that you can get a national ID at. I don't think there's any age restriction, so you could get your child their national ID that says Caymanian on it from day one. When the national ID comes out, I'm going to get one. It says Caymanian on it, and that. Hopefully, that is the one document that's going to clear this matter up, or let's put it, make it easier for the matter to be resolved.
And
In other words,
let me
if we
ask
can
you.
find a way.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to ask you a question in relation to that. Is there not a way? I mean, in my mind there is, but you know how the civil service truly works. Is there not a way for the civil service to undertake an exercise of getting everyone who needs to be acknowledged, like a one and done type of situation? And then going forward at birth, every time someone is born, then you do it at that particular stage.
Right. So one of the things that we've been looking at in the civil service, and I don't want to be stealing into the minister's thunder or anything like that, because we've been doing a lot of work on the national ID, is that we would the plan is or was, and please, I hope I'm not saying anything that is not correct, but the plan was basically, if you apply for your national ID, that the civil service, as you correctly said, would do the work behind the scenes to make sure that you are a Caymanian and give you a national ID that says you're a Caymanian. Because we would have your birth certificate, we would have your parents' birth certificate, and we would be able to do our computer systems behind the scenes would be able to do the checks and balances for us. That was the grand plan, I think, for the national ID. Whether we have been able to achieve that, I'm not sure. And it would solve the problem of what you're just saying, is that rather than someone having to go and get my mama's birth certificate and get my birth certificate and go down to work and submit it. The national ID may be the way to solve this once and for all. And I talked to my colleagues in other overseas territories, and they have the same issues as well. So it's not confined to Cayman. But if people want a fix, the fix is to change the law back to how it was prior to 1977, that everyone who's born in the Cayman Islands, regardless of who their parents are, becomes a Caymanian. That's the easy fix.
Well, we definitely don't want that.
Yes.
So that's an easy fix for the wrong thing, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we appreciate, I know you always have a way. Yes, I think you always have a way of explaining it extremely well. And that's why sometimes I have to pick up the phone and give you a little ring.
Yeah.
And the invitation remains open, sir, for you to come on the program.
Yes, there's some good things happening in our civil service that I need to share. So, and I'm sure everyone has lots of questions. So, yeah, give me a couple of days and let's have a show.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. Great.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right. So, I'm sorry, France. What? What? I had one more quick question. Oh gosh, hold on, I forgot. Yes, thank you for calling back. I had a question come in from a listener. Give me one quick second here. Let me just pull this one up for you, because she's asking about what the document says when you get acknowledged. So
Yeah.
one quick second, let me
And
read
it
this
says that,
message.
as far as I
Okay.
recall, it says that, yeah.
Yeah. So this person
Go
says,
ahead,
why
sorry.
does the wording on these letters differ? For example, mine says Cayman status, but my children says a right to be Caymanian. What's the
Yeah.
difference?
The difference is the law was changed to in 20, when was that? The law was changed, let's just say many years ago, to
Mhm.
remove the word Cayman status and replace it with Caymanian.
Okay.
So before, remember, everyone had a stamp saying that they had Caymanian status. That was changed to say that they're now a Caymanian.
Okay. So that was just a legal
So we
change.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
legislative.
when people were traveling and they said, what is Caymanian status? Nobody understood what was Caymanian status. But if the stamp says you're a Caymanian, then that puts an end to the questions.
And is there a fee to get acknowledged? I know at one point there was a fee, and then I heard there wasn't a fee.
To
So
the best of my knowledge, there was not a fee, but if it was a fee, it was a very nominal fee, $25 or something. But I'm not sure.
Okay. All right.
But I know that we certainly didn't want to be charging any significant amount, because all we're doing is acknowledging something that is already thing. It's a birthright of an individual that we are acknowledging. That's all we're doing. We're not granting it to you. It can't be refused. We're just saying, here's the one piece of paper that is proving that your child is a Cayman.
So we have some people saying it's $50. Other people, Denny says there is no fee. Someone else who sits on the board said there's no fee anymore. So it looks like
I think we may have removed the fee. Because when we saw that everyone was flooding in and everyone was requiring these letters. I mean, some really, if I'm an employer and someone comes to me and they say they're a Caymanian, I would just simply ask them to provide their birth certificate and their parents. But some employers want that letter, so that's where we've come to.
Yeah. Because if you ask for the birth certificates, then you kind of have to know the law to figure it out.
Exactly.
And maybe some of these employers, they don't want to get it wrong. So they're like, just get acknowledged.
Exactly.
Got it.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Just get the letter. Yeah.
All right, Deputy Governor, Mr. Franz Manderson. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right, folks. So that's how we like to do it here in the program. Get you the answers right